April 1863. The Confederate gunboat CSS Madison lies anchored in the waters of the Suwannee River. As Union forces close in, Madison's commander faces the possible choice: surrender the ship or let her burn.
If we can't have her, no one will!
Today, the wreck of the CSS Madison rests in 20 foot of crystal clear water, preserved not by time, but by the spring itself. More than 150 years later, the Suwannee flows quietly again, and Troy Springs now welcomes a very different kind of traveler. Today I'm sharing this water with my daughter and with Edison and Christy, friends, divers, and a part of the extended Troy Springs family. This place isn't just a dive site. Divers don't come here to flee or hide. They come here to explore, to train, to listen. Because this spring holds more than water. It holds centuries of human history layered beneath every breath. Troy Springs takes its name from a long-vanished river town called Troy, once a busy landing along the Suwannee River in the mid-1800s. For a time, Troy was even the county seat of Lafayette County, a place of trade, steamboats, and ammunition. And before that, long before written history, indigenous people gathered here, drawn by the same thing that still defines this place today: fresh water rising from the earth. Empires fade, towns burn, but the spring endures. Set along the Suwannee River, Troy Springs is the first magnitude spring, releasing millions of gallons of water every day from Florida's limestone aquifer. Some days the water is crystal clear. Others, the river pushes the tannins back into the basin, turning blue to tea. Either way, once you descend, the outside world disappears. The remains of the steamship Madison are located within the boundaries of Troy Springs State Park. Wow. But yeah, this is what's left of a Civil War ship right here. Yeah, this thing right here. This is the hull.
Crazy.
Yeah. This is the hull, like where I'm standing. You can see the nails and everything still.
I saw the nail in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Big old nails. The Madison was originally constructed sometime between 1844 and 1854 by Captain James M. Tucker. It was named for Tucker's hometown, Madison, Florida. It was originally served as a floating mail service and trading post in the 1850s. There were few roads going into and out of Troy, and those that existed were often in poor condition. Additionally, the railroad had not yet arrived for transportation, commerce, and basic necessity. Lafayette County was a known refuge for Union sympathizers and Confederate deserters. This put Captain Tucker at odds with many locals. It was scuttled and set on fire on the Springs Run at the request of Captain Tucker in order to prevent the Union from taking it over. Today, some of the remains of the Madison are still visible in the spring run, mainly metal spikes, the keel, and lower ribs. The basin drops around 70 feet, making Troy Springs an ideal environment for open water scuba training and freediving practices. Its open bowl and sandy bottom and gentle conditions create a space where divers build confidence, where generations return to refine their craft. I'd been watching these two divers. It's a grandfather and his grandson as they explored late in the afternoon. There was only about 4 or 5 of us left in the water, but I was noticing that they had spotted something very intriguing right here. And I decided to go investigate after they had pulled away, and when I did, what you're looking at is a rather large vent hole where the flow has pushed through, and we're looking directly into the aquifer. The flow here was incredible. We could hardly hold our positions with it. And we're going to look inside here, see if it's big enough to squirm into as a cave. This is the second such discovery that I had made in about a month, the other one being at Alexander Springs State Park. We'll cover that in another video. That was actually very fantastic. So it's not big enough for anybody to fit into, and I wouldn't suggest it, especially if you're not cave trained. So I'm going to stick my camera as far as I can to kind of look in to see how big it is up in there. Going to back out, and Nathan is going to come in. He's going to take my spot. Nathan is the Virginian. He'll be spotlighted in a future video series that I've got coming up. As you can see, look at his hair. You can see how harsh the flow is coming out of there. It's actually kind of a rush. I'm getting pushed back, and it's bobbing me around pretty good right there. It's really hard to maintain your position in that type of flow. So here what I've done is I noticed that there's a side vent tunnel, and I decided to see if I could see Nathan's light as he's looking around. And we do see it, but I get pushed around quite a bit, and the video will stop and you'll barely be able to see Nathan's light. So that's looking on the opposite side of the tunnel where I was looking earlier, where Nathan is now. Same rock formation. So the particles that you're seeing pass by is sand getting pushed through. Here it is. You barely saw Nathan's light, and then I got blown out of the hole. So I decided to come back around. That is not me stirring anything up. That's actually what's coming out of the vent hole. There's Nathan. So this is quite an amazing discovery. The flow at Troy Springs is usually not all that great, but we're in drought conditions right now, and the flow from the aquifer is pretty good, pretty harsh. So what we're going to do is we're tired, been a long day, so it's starting to get dark. So we're going to end our dive here, head up, gear down, and enjoy the long ride home. there we are. That's my daughter. We've had a good day. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next dive.